I wrote. The song for this meeting was I'm Coming Home, and the concept was being grateful for what we have and building a community. So, a lot of the time when we're working through our early sobriety, we have to cut out a lot of things from our lives, and when we are ready to move forward, we have less to work with than before. But we should be grateful for cutting the fat from our lives. We don't need the extra bullshit we used to deal with. The people we used to surround ourselves with, the toxic situations we used to be in. But now that we have our building blocks, we have way more possibilities than we did with all the other bullshit. We are no longer dodging shady people, pushing bad ideas, or being stuck in shitty situations. We have potential for growth again. I know for me, I had to cut out almost all of my friends and was left with a real small circle. And that shit felt isolating. But I came to realize that feeling of isolation was just the lack of chaos that existed in my previous circles. Now I had stable grounds to build on. I started to add more stable people into my circle and was able to create a supportive family that was always down for my tactics. And kind of the idea behind that was having to start over again, having that relapse, having that setback that made me feel like I was starting all the way over again. But, I've done this all before. I kind of know what I need to do, even if I do have a slip up, or if I do have to start all the way over. I know what's worked for me in the past, what hasn't, and who I can actually rely on out of the people that I still have left in my circle at this point. I know who's actually a reliable person. I know who can be actually trusted. And I know what places are actually beneficial for me to be in. So, like having a fuck up, having to start all the way over from square one, you still end up starting over with that knowledge you had before. What you got to add to that, D?
Oh, I'm coming home to the criminals, home to the crooks, home to the gangbangers shooting dirty looks. Oh man, that was my first album. I love that song. Um, so yeah, man, I can feel you like getting sober, like well, before I even got sober, I moved. Let's say I moved to a whole different city, thinking it'd keep me out of the chaotic life from the prison
Mm-hmm.
system and all that, and I just sought the same thing I was used to in a whole different area. So the chaos and the criminal shit and going back to prison in a whole nother state or city. Um, it didn't change by moving. And then I got sober in the same neighborhood that I ripped and ran for years,
Mm-hmm.
in the towns I ripped and ran for years, and happened to adjust, cut off all those old friends and the lifestyle I was living and live a life without chaos was like it was kind of isolating at first. Like I could say that it was kind of difficult finding that new group of people to push me up and push me forward, and people that I could genuinely see like things in them that I wanted to have. Not so much as material, but as in spiritual and emotional and mental capacities that I seen beyond me because all I knew how to do was like be angry, be depressed, drink and drug. That was pretty much my states of being. Um, and those are the people I surrounded myself with, and I had to find like basically a new family, a new tribe of people, like you were saying, and people I know, that had my back no matter what, that were just wanting to see me do good and push me forward, like you were saying, the people I know, like I could trust, I could confide in, I could ask them for advice and they weren't going to steer me in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? It was always going to be beneficial to me, which is a whole different thing I'd never done because I never wanted anybody's advice or opinion. I mean, um, so it is the same thing. Like, so, and then recovery, and then finding juggalos in recovery and finding like-minded family members that I can relate to and go back and forth with that are on my wavelength or on the same kind of path was another great thing because then I actually was able to go home and gather for the first time and have a network of homies that I felt comfortable with that I ain't never met a day in my life. I just had video chats with, I just had conversations with or whatever. But it was like I had meant to be around these type of people my whole life. The same thing with the people I have in my network here. It was like I was meant to have these kind of people my whole life, but I never had those kind of people because the lifestyle I was living before. And sometimes life's so boring. It's just like in early recovery, I was like, I'm going to go live vicariously through somebody else. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, I'm going to go out here and watch people being stupid,
Right.
you know, because it's not my chaos. I'm just watching chaos. And I guess it's kind of still that way sometimes in my work environment. It can be chaotic, but it's not my chaos, so I can deal with it and I can watch it, you know, and handle situations. But now, the longer I stay sober, like, calm is fine to me. I like peace and quiet. Not isolation, but just peace and quiet. I don't mind some alone time, some quiet time, some downtime. Because, I mean, you know how I am. I work all the time. I have 100 things going on. Like, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm off till Monday after tonight. My birthday is on Friday. I'm going to do my little Zoom meeting. I might go say what's up to a couple people for my birthday. But I'm really not going to do too much this weekend. But this weekend, except for like some art stuff,
Mm-hmm.
time to like relax and chill, and you know, like that's different from my chaotic life. Because the only time I was not in chaos in my life was in prison, which I was surrounded by chaos.
Right.
So
Yeah. How old are you gonna be this Friday?
34.
Woohoo! Catching up with the rest of us.
Yeah, young buck with an old body.
Oh yeah, that's been me for the longest.
Physically, 45.
Mm-hmm.
Body wise, look wise, I'm definitely 34. Mentally, early 20s. Emotionally, uh, almost 21.
Yeah. No, I
I'm the
could see
old
that.
ancient, the soul of an ancient.
Yeah. Well, next you have to get on my level.
I just need to get your Zen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe pick up a rune to zap your Zen with.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna have to work at it. Patience and being able to maintain a calm is one of the best things I ever did for myself.
Patience, I'm okay with, man, but calm, I have a line. I have a line, man.
We all do.
When I feel, when I feel like I'm not being heard or I'm being treated unduly or unjustly, I might shut up for a little while, but eventually, I mean, oh, you want to be an asshole? I can be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Um, but never without reason. There always has to be a reason.
Now,
You know, I didn't get
there's only a
I didn't get
handful of
sober to be a door.
things that can still trigger my anger, and the last time that happened was somebody slammed a door in my face, and I kicked in a steel door.
You know, I didn't get sober to be a doormat, so I don't keep friends around me that treat me like a doormat. You know, if you're one of those people that treat me like a doormat or less than, then I don't have no use for you.
Exactly.
I don't need you in my circle. I could say the longer I stay sober, the bigger my circle gets. But my circle compared to what it was is still fairly small.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount, the people in my circle are worth 100-fold of the people that were in my circle. I
Right.
may have known a ton of people that were in my circle, but where are they now? Ain't nobody there. There's a
Exactly.
very few that stuck through me long, like with me my whole life. And one told me in my face what they felt and thought about shit I was doing. Still stood there through this whole recovery journey, and are still glad to be a part of my life, thick or thin.
Mm-hmm.
Very few. Those are that are in my circle. And then the ones that I have now that, it ain't calling me up like, hey, do you got something to drink? You got something to smoke? You got any money? What are you doing this weekend? I get a text, hey, hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you coming out this weekend? Hey, how you been? And it may not be everyday text. I have a few everyday texters, and then I have, the sporadic people. Hey, just thinking about you. Ain't seen you in a while. That's fresh. That's the kind of show.
Right. Out of everybody I used to know in my past that aren't just, people that are related to me, I have exactly two people that knew me at my worst and know me now. One of them I'm in a relationship with, and the other one doesn't live anywhere near me, but has. But, we keep our circles small for a reason.
Now, so for me, I've even had the people, I don't know how it is for you, but the people that knew me at my worst and my past even tell me, like, you were a fucking asshole. Don't ever do that shit again.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing what you're doing right now. I don't ever want to know that fucking piece of shit again.
Yeah. No, I've run into
Cool.
people from my past who have told me roughly the same things, but a lot of the people that knew me at that time are still living the same way I used to be. They just
Yeah,
never learned.
who the fuck are you? Are you even Brian anymore? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, still me. Look
Yeah.
the same, dress the same, not the same,
Yeah.
but
So
the same.
that's something you definitely were not around for. Fucking Bricks has a connection to my past, which I did not realize.
Nope, no idea. Wasn't around.
Yeah,
Was
very
that over the
strange.
weekend? Eh?
Yeah, I think that was actually the day I had to take over for you. We ended up having like a late night off meeting.
I love those nights.
I know.
Those
Those are the only ones
favorite.
that Dave shows up for.
Yeah, and he's not here today, so
I know.
no late night.
I know. And nobody's gonna get on this one other than us. But yeah, just thought it was really interesting that the bricks had a connection to my past in a way that I never expected.
Well, I don't know. Josie says she knows people from my past, but I'm not so sure. That's why I'm like, tell me, you won't tell me, like, fucking name some names
Right,
and let me. She said one name, and I'm like I know the name, but I don't think I know him.
exactly.
It's
But
from a MySpace,
uh,
from mutual friends. I know the name, but I don't personally know this guy.
right. But
Like,
Bricks is friends with a group of people that I had ended up on tour with for almost 3 years. And that
that's
was,
what's up.
yeah, very odd because they're way, way outside that game now. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like hard too because a lot of people that I was homies with, like we all had nicknames. No, you didn't really know about people's government names. So even if you were to say a name, I'd be like, I don't fucking know that name. Like I know nicknames. Like everybody had a nickname. I couldn't even tell you most people's last name, let
Mm-hmm.
alone their real first name.
That's how it was with me coming up too. Like everybody had nicknames. Except for me. I was always just Chris.
Black Chris, Ninja Chris, Fat Chris, Flip, Newport, Demon, Diablo, Pixie, Magic, Ghost, Otis, Hardcore Anthony. Just fucking, and everybody had a nickname. Batman. Like,
Mm-hmm. Everybody had a
try
nickname.
and can't find them because MySpace ain't a thing no more. We were all on MySpace and everybody
Mm-hmm.
had a fucking nickname on that.
Nope. I didn't. I was
Go
Chris.
Phantom. Yeah, well, we knew so many Chris's, you would have been a certain Chris.
Yep.
You know, that's why we had a Ninja Chris and Black Chris, because he was the black homie that we brought into the family. Like, he started hanging with us, and we showed him Juggalos, took him to concerts, gave him his first chain, gave him his first shirt, and he just dived all the way in.
Right. Like almost everybody I ever knew always had nicknames. I never saw the point in it.
Well, Jacksonville, even if you're not a Juggalo, it's nicknames.
Yeah. But I feel like that was pretty much everybody's childhoods, like especially like coming up teenage years, defining yourself by your nickname was fucking important.
Snitch on me with my nickname. See where that gets you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing in Jacksonville. Everybody that went by nicknames, they did dirt. They partied, they robbed, they got down. Something was going on in their life. That's why I said that old group of friends. They weren't pushing me nowhere to do anything good. You know what I mean? And we all went by nicknames because finding out my government and getting me in some shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I always kept my circle relatively small, so it was real easy to find out if anybody was ever gonna say some shit. But but I
Yeah,
think
I'm gonna have to probably to the whole Ring It Master album here so for this a while.
yeah.
Since
But
I've listened to
we're
it
gonna
from
give
front
this a
to back.
definitely. Um, we're gonna give this another 7 minutes to see if anybody else joins, and if not, we're gonna shut it down for the evening.
Sounds good. Since Dave's having difficulties getting in.
Yeah, and Brix isn't in here. Joe hasn't even seen my message, even though she said she was gonna be able to come out tonight. So she may not have access to her phone or whatever, but that's fine.
Like his
We've already
I'm ready
had
to
more
go.
views on our YouTube than we ever have, and people joining in, so it's something.
I think if YouTube we get more activity there, I don't think the reach on Facebook's going to matter as much because you're promoting the YouTube and the website.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of my thought as well. Is I kind of want us to start preparing for Facebook to go away because eventually it's going to. You know.
Like I watch Bartle Boss a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he just like went on different podcasts, and I still watch it. And he gets a steady, 100-something people watching every episode.
Right.
I mean, he's not no big time YouTuber, but he's known in the community at least by a lot of people.
Exactly. Oh, speaking of community shits, I just got in a new microphone for gathering meetings. So I got us a wireless microphone that we can pass around the room, which will make things.
It's not a mega.
It's not just a megaphone. No, it's a regular ass microphone that I can plug into our PA.
So we can yell at the next person that walks up to the tent and goes, "You want some cocaine?"
Right.
We're in a meeting.
This is literally a sobriety meeting, sir. Please take your cocaine elsewhere. And don't be blunt man doing lines off of our chairs at 6 in the morning.
Take your cocaine and boop it.
Right. I mean, I feel like a whole meeting would definitely be about watching that. Yeah. Well, gotta love it.
So
Shit.
are we gonna this will happen, Chris?
This what?
The will.
What will?
Were you here when Frank was talking about it?
I don't think
Me and
so.
Dave were talking about it after hours one night, I think,
Mm-hmm.
about making a will, get people to do crazy shit, kind of like a Morton's list, but to get like merch item or like some free shit that we haven't really
Oh
sold or
yeah,
something.
that'd be fun. Like, I would really love
Go,
to be
go up
able to
and
do that.
go up and pants the first person you see wearing this color or
Uh-huh.
something. Just something ridiculous.
Oh
Here's
yeah.
your mission.
You know what? We could definitely do up the shenanigans for this gathering, but we also need to also kind of, sell some shit for this gathering.
Just saying, just some random stuff like the beer will, but not for beer.
Right. I would love to have that happen for us. I was like, man, that would be so much more fun. It's like the
I'm just
the
saying.
the tic tac toe bag toss thing was a cool idea. A wheel would be so much better.
I would definitely invest in stuff to give away just to have people do stuff on a wheel.
Right. I know we could do that. And I think if we could make some sober balls t-shirts, just those alone would be enough for people to risk coming and spinning our wheel.
That's what I'm thinking is getting some different drawings I have shot to Dave and seeing if he can print some shirts, like
Yeah.
order publish for cheap, and just because he has the machines or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like mail him a drawing. What's your address? Let me send you a fucking 20 shirts.
Right.
Fucking press some shit.
Man, I mean we've got some time to start getting some shit together, because I also have to
I
get
know.
some other t-shirts made this year.
I was just looking at patches and vest again last night, but I'm debating on whether to order vest or to do it DIY style and hit thrift shops.
Man, as cool as it would be to have like a designer-ish vest, something that isn't gonna need to be fucked with, it's definitely better for us to just kind of have an amalgamation, in my opinion.
A what?
An amalgamation, a combination of multiple
The,
different things.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be cool to get, like, I'm debating on one way or the other. Like, should I just go thrift shop a bunch of fucking denims or should I just order a set thing? But I'm debating on which path I'm going to go. Because I was just looking at vests again last night and then looking at the patch sets. The only thing is, I got to figure out, like, about a custom back patch and
Mm,
like that's what I was looking to add to the other patches. Like if there's a place, if I give them a picture, they'll print a custom center patch.
right. Hold on, Dave's fucking trying to video call me.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can just get him in this way. Right, let's see. I might be able to do this. Man, this is gonna be complicated. Let's see. Do. Let's go ahead and call Dave back. Dave, can you hear me? Alright, hold on. I'm going to share my screen so that I can also
All
get you in here.
right.
We are going all the way.
Hey, why is your phone being retarded?
All right. There we
I'm
go.
really pissing me off, dog.
All
Dave,
right.
why is your phone being retarded? Holy shit, there's Dave.
It can't
I like that
just
red
my
hat.
phone. I tried with 2 different fucking Google accounts and 2 different phones.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is all kinds of crazy trying to get this set up this way.
I bet it is.
Uh, I
Well,
am on.
now I see
Yeah.
now I see two
I bet it
Chris's,
is.
so I always knew he had a twin somewhere out there working behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I am on the Google Meets, sharing my screen to the Facebook Messenger call, just so you can be here. So you better feel special.
Well, goddamn, I am special.
Well, ain't that right? Uh huh.
Oh, at
Let's.
least it's not dumpster him special.
It, God, this looks fucking wild. I'm watching the YouTube live along with this so we can see the dumb shit that this is. God, this is
Oh,
fucking weird.
and see, I actually went on Facebook. It was on the Facebook Live, and I was still trying to get. I was like, you know what? I've been doing this for like 55 minutes. I'm just gonna call it like fuck this.
Right.
Oh,
So, today's topic was what was this shit? Hold on. Being grateful for what we have and building community. So the concept was being able to start all the way the fuck over, cutting down what you had, which would be your friends, the places you used to hang out with, the people you used to associate with, to where you had your bare bones and then adding in more stable elements into your life. And kind of the whole thing that spawned that was the idea of a relapse. Like having to start all the way over after you've already had your shit established for a minute isn't that scary, even though it sounds like the worst fucking thing ever. Because we've already been there, done that. We know who we can rely on. We know what places are good for us. And we already know the steps we have to take to make sure we make it in the right direction. You got anything you want to say on that one?
well, that's kind of what me and Breaks has been discussing this week. A lot of just that, of knowing that you can make a mistake and there's a comeback from it. You know who you can count on. You know who you can trust. You know who you can put your faith into. You know the motherfuckers to leave alone. You know the places to leave alone because they got you in a situation. And sometimes that's not the case, but sometimes it's just wrong shit at the wrong place. And sometimes it's wild to me because I can understand his situation is going through shit you ain't been through since you moved, and all of a sudden you find something, then it's like, nah, it's just a little, hey, shit. I've been there. And that's what I told him. I've been there a lot. And as a person that has moved as much as I have, I've run into that exact situation. Um, and more often than not, you'll run across people during your recovery that wants to see you relapse. They'll fucking join meetings. They'll do weird ass shit just to keep their pockets filled with money because they know if they can save face and they can just go in there and talk a little shit. Oh man, you look like you having a rough day, man. If I can find something, hold on, I know it, dude. So there's people out there that are literally just plotting your demise. But there's a lot of people out there in the same that's is there to help you, but it's knowing the difference in the snakes and your roaches of society versus the motherfuckers that's there to lift you up. And I try real hard to understand when it comes to relapse because I've been a person that's hell. I'm far from recovered. we've had that talk, because I openly smoke. I don't find it as until it's medically legal, I'm still considered a drug addict, regardless. It is truly, that's just how it is. And that's one thing, I don't claim that I know very much about recovery. I don't claim that I know very much about life in general, but the facts I have is what I try to give people. And I try to give you the life lessons that I've had to personally live so you don't have to go through that bullshit. It's easy to see that, oh, I fucked up, and that's the end of everything. Everybody's gonna turn their back on me. Everybody's gonna say fuck me. But the people that are really there are the ones that's been there. It's not something new, and we seem to forget that. It's, damn it, I can't remember the statement I made earlier because it would have been perfect for this exact situation. Um, but basically, we can do whatever we set our minds to. And if we set our minds that we're already failed, then you fail before you even started. If the relapse is going to make you continue to relapse, then you've already set your mind into relapse. If you say, okay, I'm going to man up to this, I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to take what the fucking people say that I know I ain't going to like, but they ain't going to like what I got to say either. But there's going to be a mutual respect because we handled it like adults. I didn't lie to you. I didn't steal from you. I didn't cheat from you. I come straight at you and I told you exactly what was going on with me. And I feel like anytime you do that, even if the person gets mad, there's a respect gained because they know that they can trust what you say. They know that they can wonder, but unless you bringing it to them, they ain't really got to worry about it.
Yeah.
They can always be because it's just going to happen, but they don't have it. The more it progresses, the least they have to because they know you'll be straight up. And that
Right.
comes with time. It's the evolvement, like you say.
Yeah. Um, I like what you had to say. D, you got anything to add to that?
So what I like to tell people, because you know where I work, I see a lot of people come and go, and some of them leave on relapse and come back. And I always try to say basically what he was saying. What I tell him is it's a minor setback for a major comeback, right? Like this wasn't my first time trying to be sober, dry, clean, whatever you want to call it. Like I had 5.5 years dry. I had 6 months clean. Now I'd say this time sober because I'm actually doing it. I'm not just like miserably white knuckling life and hating it without the substances. But all those were learning lessons, All those were when in the grand scheme of life, when I look back at when I'm 67 years old, they were all just minor things that got me more wisdom and more experience to help the next person. Kind of just like what Dave's saying, all his things he went through in life is experience that he can pass on. It's the same thing for me, you know? And I missed the part where you said like the gratitude, because I talked about the community thing. But I wouldn't be humble or where I'm at or grateful for all the things I have in my life if it wasn't for all those minor setbacks from the choices I made in life. Like I got 2 great jobs, I got great coworkers, I got a great friend group, network, tribe of people, I got great homies in my life. Like I have a woman that's been through my side, thick or thin for the most part. I got beautiful kids. Like I have so much stuff that I never was grateful for. That if I wasn't knocked on my ass a couple times, I probably still wouldn't be grateful for. It's probably would still be out there being a fucking knucklehead.
Mm-hmm. Dave, could you hear that okay?
Yeah, I heard that perfectly fine. I completely agree. I skipped over the grateful part myself. Didn't mean to.
Oh man, what a
That's
fucking weird setup we've got for this meeting.
but it's true on so many
Funny.
levels. D is right. We overlook how much we have and how much we should be thankful for. To bitch and complain about the things we don't and the minuscule things that or inconveniences that aggravate us, that piss us off. And I'm one of the worst for that. I told you I have a bad issue with anger, and I let it fucking get a hold of me sometimes. But when I stop and I'm just thankful for, being able to walk, being able to get up and fucking do things, be able to see, be able to hear, be able to taste, be able to smell. Because there's so many people that not only addiction, but just fucking drugs or fucking sickness or age has took things away from you that you just don't think to appreciate. How would it feel to be stuck in a bed and in a room with no windows, and the only outside you get is what somebody brings you? No TV, no nothing, and that's how a lot of our elderly live. They're basically completely shut in a room and isolated to the point of madness, and then we wonder why they're fucking crazy. I mean, because when your health starts deteriorating.
Are you gonna say some shit, D? Or did you just?
Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, like I tell a lot of people that in early recovery too, though, like because I had to keep that mindset. There's a saying, attitude of gratitude. I always tell people like, look, be grateful for everything you have because there's always somebody out there that has it worse than you. They have no family, they have nobody, they're in prison the rest of their life, or they're dead, or homeless on the side of the road with no chance at what you're doing right now. So always be, grateful because there's somebody out there that's worse. And it's the same with don't act like you know everything because there's always somebody smarter than you, and don't act like you're the best at everything because there's always somebody better than you. It's that mentality, that's what keeps you humble. Having a realist perspective on life. You know, not being completely jaded and not being overly optimistic. It doesn't mean not reach for the stars, but just have a real view on life and know that like everything you got is not guaranteed and everything that you're going to get hasn't even came yet.
Yeah, no, I like that. But I think
That's
that's
why the big ass says
good.
we all need our reminders.
Yeah, we all do. But with that, I think that's where we're gonna stop the live for now because I don't think anybody else is coming back through. All right,
Okay.
stop.